Hello, friends. I'm Jai Bharadwaj, your host, and this is Australia Today, talking to the CEO of Global Study Partners, Elaine Starkey. How are you, Elaine?
I'm fantastic, Jay. Very nice to meet you, and thank you for inviting me on today.
First of all, welcome to the Australia Today, and it feels like I'm really talking to somebody who has converted into an Indian Australian.
I have actually. I feel half Indian. I don't look or sound it, Jay, but yeah, I certainly I've been loving my trips to India, and I'm loving doing business in India actually, and we have significant investment in India as well. So it's an exciting time. And look, I recently, I won an award for the Australian India, the IAPCA Award, Businesswoman of the Year. So I thought, oh wow, that look, it was fantastic for diversity. I was thrilled. It was really unexpected, but it was an honor.
That's what I wanted to mention. That you are one of Indian Australians, and probably doing more in terms of business with India and placing that Australian flag right where it belongs to.
Absolutely. And the timing is so fantastic with the ECTA agreement and, with the governments coming together. I think, and a lot of success in a business is timing actually, and getting the right markets. The South Asia has been our market from the start, where we opened our very first operation and we've built from there. So I have a real passion about India, and I've traveled there quite a bit over the last couple of years, and we've really strong partnerships there. And really, it has built to our success in India.
Tell me something about how Global City Partners is redefining that scene of Indian students or the institutions in Australia. How are you connecting them? I was just trying to read and trying to understand. Probably it will be better you tell us.
Yeah, look, we're very much a B2B platform. So we work with the local education agents in India, and we empower them with the access and the knowledge and the tools to offer students the right outcomes for studying overseas. So we work directly contracted with the Australian universities. We represent on our platform now 65,000 courses. So if a student goes into their local education agent that works with Global Study Partners, they know that they will get the right choice and the right outcomes from their study overseas journey. So really, we're not at all competing with the channel. We're empowering the channel. So I suppose you'd kind of compare it to an Expedia in travel.
Wow.
Where a student or agent can search, compare, shortlist, and apply to thousands of courses. Then they can upload all of their entry requirements if they have, their GPA or their IELTS certificate or any of their requirements to get into the country to study. And we will identify a shortlist that matches that student through their agent, and then place them in a suitable university. So look at the student experience is really at the heart of what we do and the student outcomes. So really, the model was all built on delivering the best outcomes for international students.
We have been told that there is 20% growth rate in terms of international students. How are you seeing if we talk not only India, if we talk about South Asia, Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and India, how do you see that, and how is it growing?
Well, Jay, I think we have a bit of ground to make up from COVID. I think the other study destinations opened before us, like Canada and US and UK, and they have probably made up ground, and they've taken a bit of our ground. We were number 2 as a destination market in Australia. We've kind of moved down a bit to 4 or 5 now, but I can see a huge rebound since January. I mean, we're seeing at the top of our funnel at the moment growth of 600% across South Asian markets, which is phenomenal, really. So the interest to come and study in Australia certainly hasn't gone away. We just made it very hard for a period of time, which we needed to do, So I think they're all coming back in, and it's now the problem is managing the logistics, having enough flights, being able to issue visas on time. These are the challenges we're facing. It's not the demand. So that will all come good, and it's coming good already. But it's good to see that the demand certainly, or the interest, isn't going away in studying in Australia.
And one of the things which happened in COVID, at least for GSP, was that you are now part of a bigger group upgrade. So how is that partnership going on?
Oh, look, that's really exciting. I mean, we're absolutely thrilled because we were coming out of it. We were in a, I suppose, situation in COVID where, you know, one border shuts down, like Australia shut down, then the other markets shut down, then all of our source markets, India, Vietnam, Bangladesh, Pakistan, one by one, Brazil, all closed down. Nobody could have predicted the challenging situation we would have been in. And then Upgrade have come along, and they saw our business as a real extension to their own. We were the missing gap in what they wanted to offer globally.
Mm.
I mean, they're an amazing company. They're a multi-billion-dollar company out of India, and it's fantastic to talk to their founders there, like Ronnie Scrivala, amazing guy, Mayank Kumar and Gaurav Kumar and Falgun, and look, they've brilliant vision, really, and it's all about lifelong learning and delivering not online courses, blended learning, study abroad, the whole gamut of courses really, and the employability outcomes as well for students. So being part of that vision to be, you know, one of the top in the world by 2024 is a really exciting journey for us. And it's great that they chose an Australian company and they saw, look, we share the same type of values and the same vision, even though we're really teeny tiny in comparison, we're building.
Well, we bring to the table one of the niche way of doing things. That's what probably is the USP for GSP.
Absolutely. Yeah. It
Uh,
sure is. And they loved our team as well. You know, our team are very passionate and hardworking. And, you know, the fact that we survived COVID and we grew 20% a year during that time where, you know, we had to pivot and do it very quickly in the business. But it was fantastic that our team stood up to that. And, you know, a lot of the people in our head office made a lot of sacrifices to make sure that all of our South Asian teams were, you know, continuing to receive salaries and everything during that time, because they found it hard at the markets over there, you know. So, and I think we're now seeing the fruits of all of that efforts.
Let me take you to probably the future. Is it possible in another 5, 10 years that these campuses will be all on clouds and the universities will be named something like Global Study Place or something? Do you see that transformation happening in next 10 years, or we are just talking too much?
I think there will be some, but I think it'll be very blended, Jay, to be honest. I think, look, I think that a lot of students want to go overseas for the experience. So they want to get on a plane, they want to come to the country. Some want to migrate, you know, let's not get away from that. That is a key driver, a motivator, you know. So, but I think a lot of the learning can be delivered online. And certainly it's going more like that, or blended learning options. But I think there's going to be a lot more programs where you can study maybe 1 year in Australia, 1 year in UK, 1 year in India, and, you know, in the States, you get your 4-year degree from 4 different countries. And you know, and like I look at back, I suppose, giving away my age, but when I graduated in the early 80s, less than 5% of females went to university, and now it's over 50%. And I think, you know, that like that shows how rapidly, you know, things change really, you know, over the years. And it's now become a right for every student to access the right information. It's no longer a privilege. It was then a real privilege if you lived in a country town to be able to go to university. Now the world is changing so fast that every student wants access to, they do their research, and they will all choose different options. But the most important thing is to have all those options available, whether it's all through the cloud-based teaching or whether it's in class. I can't really say how it's going to look like in 10 years' time. You know, I often thought even today would look different to when I started the business 6 years ago, but it doesn't look very, very different actually. You know, apart from the blended learning has been growing, you know, without a doubt. And I think there's huge opportunity for like starting your course in India for Indian students where it is more affordable for the first year or two, and then come on to Australia to study. And then their degree is a blended program, and the same for a master's as well, or even part online and part in class.
Uh, if I ask you one thing which you should be telling international student, Indian international student, what will that be?
I think do your research. It's really important, to understand what's available on the market, because sometimes they, if they go into, an advisor, they may get the wrong advice based on biased information. So it's really important that they do plenty of research beforehand, understand what the university offers. There's a lot of sites now available for research, and check the job outcomes as well. And look, it's really important that they know the career opportunities, the skills occupation list, shortages and things, so that they can map up what is their motivation, why do they want to do this course, and if they want to go back to India, will that transfer as well? Because there's a lot of now the governments are announcing they are actually recognizing each other's qualifications, so that's fantastic. So just to make sure that they're on the right track with that. But that would be the one thing I'd say. But really, there's so many ways into courses. It doesn't matter your results really at the end of the day. You can come for 1 year and you might see an opportunity to go into a better course for you. You might go on and do a master's in something else. Don't feel that you're defined by one outcome. You can change. I think most students now are changing their career 5 times in their life, so at least. And they're probably, I think we're leading to them doing that 5 times in their first 10 years of working, actually, because it's all about lifelong learning, and, it doesn't matter what age you start. You should be able to start your degree at 30, at 40, at 50. It doesn't really matter, the world is changing so quickly. Keep upskilling yourself as well, I'd say to students. It's so important that, you need to nail the soft skills, as they're really, when you're going to interviews, all of those things to get a job, actually, because they stand out. And I think particularly in Australia, if I'm interviewing someone, I'm interviewing them probably more in their personality and their soft skills, so I think the Indians are fantastic at that, actually. I think they stand out. Like, I'm blown away with how well Indian students can interview.
Elaine, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining with us. It was a pleasure to have you.
Absolute pleasure to join you. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thanks, Jay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.